Hi everyone, this is Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. We have here a patient who attended reporting a blocked right ear, and unbeknown to them, they also had a blocked left ear. It's completely occluded with earwax. And so we're commencing with their right ear first, and after I removed the wax from their right ear, they then realised that their left ear was blocked. It's difficult sometimes when you've got one ear that's blocked than the other. You think the better ear is normal because that's your reference point for your bad ear. And so we also, after removing the right ear, clearing this ear, we also proceeded to remove the wax from the left ear. They've been using some sodium bicarbonate drops the day before, which would make the wax slightly mushy and sticky, as you can see. What the sodium bicarbonate drops does is, as it enters the ear, the sodium bicarbonate drops reacts with an acid, a carboxylic acid, which is secreted by bacteria that feed on sebum. So sebum is an oily, fatty secretion found not only in our ears but also on our scalp, and it's produced by sebaceous glands that attach to the hair follicle. So these hair strands that you see in the ear on the outer third, at the root, at the follicle, you have a sebaceous gland that secretes sebum, and living on the skin is healthy bacteria and fungi. We call it skin flora, and the bacteria feed on the sebum, and they produce and release a carboxylic acid, and the sodium bicarbonate reacts with that acid. When it does, it produces and liberates into water and also carbon dioxide, and during that transformation, it creates effervescence. So you get mechanical bubbling and foaming, and that mechanical bubbling and foaming, that fizzing. So if you've ever used sodium bicarbonate drops before, hydrogen peroxide drops as well, you can quite often hear a fizzing, and that's just the sodium bicarbonate changing to water and also a gas in the form of carbon dioxide. In addition, the water produced by the sodium bicarbonate drops, it gets absorbed by the skin cells, which make up roughly 60% of earwax. The skin cells hydrate, they swell, and eventually they burst from the membranes. And that can make that process of maceration of the skin and the overhydration and swelling of it, and eventually the breaking down of the skin, can cause very sticky, mushy wax. So I've just put loads of olive oil in there just to change the consistency. It really helped. It also has stopped the inside of the suction tube getting blocked. When you've got sticky, mushy wax, it can often block the inside of the sucker. So I'm just mopping up now. Got to be really careful. We're just on the bony part here, just hovering over. If it comes away, brilliant. If not, we're going to leave it because I don't want to scrape the patient's ear canal and potentially cause them any trauma. So we're on the bony part here. If it was a bit closer to me, it's the cartilage portion, we could apply a bit more pressure. The skin is a lot thicker there, so that acts like a buffer effect. So it's got more defence, it's got a stronger defence, the cartilage portion, as opposed to the bony part of the ear canal. It's only a very thin layer of skin that coats that. I'm just using the fine end suction probe because we don't need to use the full suction probe given the ears are clear, and we're working very close to the canal wall, so the fine end gives me more precision. And there's a little bit around the edge at the top, just going to leave that. And you can see also the skin that lines the eardrum. So the outer membrane of the eardrum is made with the same skin that lines the inner 2/3 of the ear canal. It's the epidermis layer of skin, the outermost layer of skin. That consists of epithelial skin cells. And when you use drops like sodium bicarbonate drops or hydrogen peroxide based drops, the skin again on the surface of the eardrum absorbs the water, and it starts to macerate. And you can see on that eardrum a slight maceration, softening, wrinkling effect of the skin. That'll be fine now. The patient doesn't need to use any more drops. Going to keep their ears clear of any water. So just moved on to their left ear, and ironically this ear was a bit more difficult to remove in some respects because the plug was larger than the entrance of the ear, and I'm just having to squeeze this through. So we brought it forwards. I'm just trying to wriggle it through here. It was a bit firmer because the patient didn't use any drops in this ear, as opposed to the right side where the wax was a lot softer, so it could come through a narrowing. And just brought it here. A couple of times I thought I was just about to reach out for the ear hook, but it was coming through, so I thought against, and then eventually it did come away. See, it's coming through now. I'm just rocking it left to right, up and down, and we're just squeezing it through and out of the ear. There we are. You can tell by the colour on both sides it's quite dark, so it's oxidised, it's been there for a while. The patient last attended in 2018, so it's a good 5 years. And it does vary from individual to individual. If you are approximately one of the 5 to 10% of the population that suffer from earwax, it generally is a condition that is chronic. So what I mean by that is you'll have to have it removed repeatedly over the years, and the frequency at which you need it to remove does it's dependent upon the individual. So some patients of mine have to attend, believe it or not, every 3 or 4 months. They're quite extreme cases, but it does happen. On the other hand, you get some patients every 6 to 10 years. I would say the average is about 12 to 18 months if you are suffering from wax. You can, for whatever reason, it could be stress, diet, lifestyle, or for some unknown reason that we're oblivious to, go through phases where you develop more wax or less wax, so you might have to have it more frequently. So just say your average is 12 to 18 months, but it could be for whatever reason you need to have it done more frequently over a short period of time. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care, keep well, and speak soon. Bye.